Pay attention.
Creepy weirdo.
I would like a strong, powerful woman to protect me.
He'll fight for America.
Yeah, Poopy Square.
The Playable Characters Podcast.
Are we on the air?
We're on the air now.
Where the hell are we? First of all, I don't even know. I'm at a Key Food, and there's a there's a Key Food across the street, and they're telling me that the pod. I'm asking anyone, where are they doing the podcast? And oddly enough, no one in this neighborhood seems to know about
They're
them.
all around Queens.
They're all Asian.
Is this like one of them underground radio stations they used to have?
Sorta.
Yeah. Well,
Pirate radio.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I was looking for that word, and you pulled it out of the thesaurus there.
All right, we're gonna start.
You do that.
We already did, kind of,
You do
folks.
that.
Welcome to another amazing episode of Playable Characters Podcast. We're gonna get right into it today.
We certainly are. We better.
We have
You think I got nothing else to do, Brian?
very-
To do your podcast?
super enthusiastic guest today, and
Let's not get carried away, Brian.
this is gonna be like for you old school retro gaming fans.
This is old school, son.
Yeah.
This is old school. None of this modern day stuff that they have today.
Right. None
Back
of that.
in my day, we did not have none of that.
Right. So here's who we're talking to. By the way, I am Brian. Olive, Calvin are with me.
Yeah,
We have a pilot.
that's right.
From
son.
the original Asteroids game.
Don't you got no patriotic
Welcome.
music to play in the background?
So we'll put it in. As
We'll put it in-
You
we'll-
fix that in post.
we'll
will you,
put it
Brian?
in post.
There'll be some
As
Toby
they-
Keith undertones. We got
Thank you very much. Like
First
this
of all,
is- yeah.
what's your name, sir? What's
Carl Sweetwater Johnson.
Sweetwater Johnson.
All right.
That's right, Carl Sweetwater
Carl-
Johnson, U.S. MC, Marine Corps, and Air Force.
You're actually Marine Corps, and they sent you to space.
Air Force
I know.
as well.
I know. Back then, you multitask. Unlike these people today that specialize in one thing.
Yeah.
Back then, you had to do it all, son.
One branch of the military is no good.
Exactly. You
did
had
a-
to be in all of them. You had to be immersed.
Is that
You know what I'm
true?
saying? Yeah, multi-dimensional it's called. You should look it up.
I'm going to multi-dimensional. I mean, it's
Seriously.
true. So you're in the Navy, Air Force,
NASA, exactly. Also in the
Wow.
ASPCA as well, right?
Just for the hell of it.
absolutely. Just to take because we care about pets as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you sent pets to space, so that's fair.
Absolutely. You think you don't need companionship when you just get out into
Oh,
the
okay.
outer regions and the nether worlds and
Yeah,
outer space?
yeah.
You bring your cat with you.
Why not?
My cat Buster, I bring him everywhere.
Oh, so you had a cat with you usually when you
I
were...
did. I got him preserved right now.
I was gonna say, it's a
he-
long
Oh,
time ago.
goodness.
He's still-
he didn't make it. I'd like a moment of silence right now.
Okay.
And which is probably going to happen a lot during this broadcast. But anyway, we'll take a few when we can get them. But yeah, my cat Buster, he made it on a few trips, but air pressure got to him.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do...
Yeah,
You want to do
cats usually
a moment
freak-
of silence
Okay,
or what?
right,
For real?
yeah.
All right.
now? Okay.
Audience, you guys don't talk either.
All right, that's good.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's move on.
cats freak out in closed spaces. He was,
You know it, son. You should have seen him.
he was okay in space.
Well,
Trying
I
to
forgot
claw
to
you
sc-
in
his-
anti-gravity, just
He
like
did. They're anti-gravity. They're anti-mice. They're everything. They have numerous negative feelings towards lots of things.
Yeah, they
including
do. I have two here in the studio.
as we all do.
Yeah.
The darkness that's within all of us.
That's two cats.
As do cats, son. You ever seen a cat with a mouse? It's sadistic.
They
Yeah.
play with it. They
Yeah.
beat it around.
That's some Quentin Tarantino shit right there. Son.
It is.
Okay. They don't just let a mouse go easily.
No.
That's Game of Thrones them first, and then
Yeah.
they take them out.
That's true. My goodness, Sweetwater, you've lived your life, man.
I've been around, son. I
Yeah.
got stories.
Tell
okay?
us a story. Let's start off
yeah,
with a
let's start with
Sweetwater.
how you ended
Well,
up.
Space. Yeah.
Well,
what about
space.
space?
Let's talk about this neighborhood. Where can you get a sandwich around here? Because nobody seems to sell any. That's my military name, by the way, Carl Sweetwater Johnson.
Sweet-
that's
yeah.
good enough for
Sweetwater
me.
Johnson.
That's a good name.
That's good.
Was that printed on like your helmet, like Sweetwater?
Absolutely. That's the way we did things back then.
Yeah.
We didn't keep it on the QT. People knew who you were.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now hold on. Now, if you're in all the branches, like what if
All
they
of them, son.
needed you for the Army one day, but they also need you for the Navy that day?
Well, see, that's the thing. You kids today, you don't understand that back then, that was just a natural part of what you did.
You just did
okay? You think, if they needed you for the army, well, then you just did it. You snapped too. There was none of this. I can't because I don't know. I might get my feelings hurt.
Right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
No feelings back
That's
then.
right. We had no feelings. We couldn't afford them. Okay. That's how poor we were. We did not have money to even buy feelings. I went to a dime store one time. I said, "You got any empathy here?" And they said, "No, we're out of it." Because you couldn't afford to have empathy for nothing. You just had
Wow.
to take on what you got. Now, what's the number one? Who have you had on here that I might have known or talked about or in their video game world
Yeah, I
nowadays,
mean,
the modern video game
I'd say the
world?
closest maybe. Do you follow boxing?
Of course, who doesn't follow boxing? That's my kind
American
of sport.
Yeah, we had Glass Joe from
Yes.
Mike Tyson's
There
Punch
you go,
Out, so-
right there. Now,
Yeah.
now that's interesting to me because that gets into the savagery of human nature.
Sure does.
Okay, there's a savage nature, an underpinning of psychological hostility that we all have,
Wow.
and boxing, what that does is it externalizes it for the external world so that they can recognize it and embrace it.
Yeah.
That's what that's
You're a
what
gentleman and a scholar. I'm very
Yeah, look at
impressed.
that.
Hey, man,
I
like
didn't
I
expect
said,
that. That was
I'm giving some super psychological deep analysis here. Okay, so you had him, and
Yeah.
then what else is it?
I mean, we
What
had
else?
King Bowser, Mario's nemesis.
Oh,
right?
Mario's not nemesis.
Yeah, we just had Link.
I heard of him.
Yeah,
I'm
Link.
not a big fan.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no-
go ahead.
okay.
Who said
Of Link or of Bowser?
Both of them. Both of them. We had a bar a disagreement over a game of quarters.
We
one
just
time.
had Qbert, the guy who's the basis for Qbert.
Remember
that
Qbert?
guy. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Same time as you.
In the same era,
Yeah.
but we didn't intersect. As
No,
they say.
different
Qbert,
realms.
completely different realm. We was in the military, son.
We heard.
Qbert, I don't even want to know what Qbert was doing.
I don't
but
think
we
it's-
was,
Cocaine.
We was manning massive machinery. Okay, I was an Asteroids pilot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We only had two. We had forward thrust and side thrust, and we had one gun right
That's
there
it.
in the
You
front.
just
That's
spin
it.
in circles. That's
And you think these people in these other, what are these other military games they got nowadays?
space something.
Space
yeah.
is space
Halo,
something.
like Halo.
Space Harrier,
Could you be a
Halo.
little more vague, Brian? Is that possible?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we had very limited
Right.
special effects back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We couldn't afford those either.
Yeah, Halo has big spaceships.
See
and
that?
everything.
Yeah.
You just had a little
nothing
triangle.
else. You had nothing to defend
Your
yourself
flag.
against.
Yeah.
But that was a real job, right? Somebody had to destroy
You're
those
damn right.
asteroids.
We was on. I got a pension now. I'm picking up from that job, and you had boulders coming at you from all sides.
Right.
Okay. So there was no room for any of the stuff that you get with these modern games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have not lived. You have not dealt with danger. Have you seen some of the play-by-play of some of our asteroids fights?
Sure.
Dog fights?
Yeah.
We got them on videotape. There's a few of them.
There's commentators like doing play-by-play.
No, well, not really, but just play along, all right? Anyway, the thing is, that when you got boulders surrounding you on all
Yeah.
sides, you got to go by instinct now. See, it's all done by computers nowadays. Back then, we didn't have that.
You just went at it.
You just had to-
You had to connect like some kind of. You had to connect. You had to be one with your
ship.
spacecraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you got boulders coming at you from all sides, yeah, you got to be tapped in, as they say.
So what was it like? I mean, when you signed up for the military, was it every branch right away, or did they eventually add the space branch? Because it seemed like that would be like a newer thing.
It's a slow addendum to it.
Okay.
It's like building like Jenga.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? It's like Jenga. You take it, you add, and then
Yeah.
you subtract, and then you move on to different branches, and you build this foundation
Yeah.
under it, and then you add your skill
Okay.
set as you go on.
How'd they end up choosing you to? They said we need the
I
best
never-
guy to
yeah,
get
well,
these asteroids.
I mean, look, I don't want to brag or nothing. I don't want to brag or nothing, but I may have to. Because back then, you couldn't be shy about your talents and your gifts.
Right.
And I showed a special talent in the flight. This thing is squeaking. Could we get some kind of a mechanic in here to fix this?
We'll
We
call
can't have
somebody.
that.
I was hoping you would be the mechanic.
Yeah,
as well.
I know, but I'm not getting paid for this. So you know what I mean. So I'm expecting somebody to come in here toot sweet and
Maybe.
take care of this squeaking. But anyway, no. But what was the question again?
I forget. What was your question?
Why they choose you?
Oh, yeah.
Why you to choose
Is
for
it,
asteroids?
I sense a sort of hostility in your co-host.
No,
in that.
definitely.
no. I'm just saying.
No,
Definitely.
I'm sure
why
there's
did they
lots of-
choose? Why did they pick you, you lunatic? No, basically, I was chosen. I grew up dirt poor, and so I learned I had to be twice as good as anybody else, you know. And so I honed my skill set, and I graduated third in my class. I think
bad.
Qbert was ahead of me, but
Well,
you put
This
him
is
in
high
one-
school, or are you
Yeah,
talking about?
we're talking high school here.
okay.
We're talking nursery school,
Wow,
actually. Right?
okay.
Yeah.
Third in your
wow.
class.
You got started early, son. You got
rankings.
Yeah, exactly. You had to be ready, as they say.
Yeah.
So I did pretty well in the classes, but where I really shone was in combat. Okay, you put me in a cockpit in
As a
combat
preschooler?
situation as a preschooler. son.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You talk about bullies nowadays.
This is very
We
Ender's
had-
Game.
You're right. We had bullies back then, and they didn't have none of these anti-bullying campaigns.
You
that
just
they
dealt
have
with
now.
it, right?
Yeah, you
You
learned.
just had to shoot them.
You had to shoot them. You had to take them down. Okay, son. There was a lot of carnage on the battlefield of nursery school. You're a 4-year-old. And someone's coming at you from all sides. You gotta learn some skill set.
Just like the Asteroids. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where'd you grow up?
Right here in this building, right here. Actually, no. No.
You still couldn't find it?
It's hard to really. I'm taking in the environment here because I'm from the backwaters of Louisiana.
I could tell that.
Yeah.
You got the
Louisiana.
Cajun,
Yeah.
Cajun-y thing
Yeah,
to you.
Cajun. That kind of Cajun accent you can hear. I
yeah.
still got it.
You still got it.
It puts fear in the opponent, I'll tell you. Right
Oh, yeah.
there.
The opponent
Into the
being
Asteroids.
boulders?
No, we're not messing around.
The Asteroids are scared of
This
it.
ain't no Wisconsin accent or no
No.
Minnesota.
No,
What's
definitely
up
not.
there, dude? You know what I mean? No. Well, hello there. No. This puts fear in
Right to the
anybody.
point.
We cut to the quick.
Can I ask you, how long are your Asteroids tours of duty? Like, do you go, month on,
Well,
month
it
off?
varied actually. Like you see something like the Right Stuff, and people get a distorted view of what we did up there in space.
So we base it on the right stuff.
Yeah, we're basing on the Right Stuff because that was the. I got no other references here, so I'm just working. I'm flying by the seat of my pants
Top
here.
Gun.
There's not very little. You want me to go to Aliens or something? I don't know what you want from me, but anyway.
Hot shots.
Yeah, what did Hot Shot Part do or
Yeah.
Part Trey or who the hell knows? But yeah. So what was the question again? You got to understand. I got some shrapnel in the left ear, so I don't know.
How long
see
are your
it.
Asteroids tours of duty?
Each
like,
deployment,
yeah.
you went out. You went out for a couple of years because you had
Oh,
to go.
wow.
Yeah, you did.
It's space.
Yeah, it's space. It's not like you can hop on the R train.
not a quick
like
trip.
like kids today do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was R trains
You
back
can't.
then.
Yeah, you can't just transfer and
Right.
get another Metro card and then go. Okay, I'm checked out of duty now. You're
That's
defending
not how
the known
transit
universe.
works here either.
We was defending the known universe from Boulders, son. You
Yeah.
can't just go out there and say, "Hey, I'm done. Somebody replace me." You know what I mean? And then take a
Right.
job at 7-Eleven or something. You
No.
can't do that. You weren't allowed back then.
Yeah.
Not
So-
that.
So that must have been isolating then. I mean, but just
had
in
his
your
cat.
cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
I did have Buster.
Yeah.
And
But-
that was good. That took away some of the loss of companionship
Right.
there.
Sure.
But you still need your buddies.
Yeah.
And so we stayed in contact on the radio.
On the
Okay,
radio.
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you had other. So I wasn't the only one out there.
Okay.
I
Oh,
don't,
okay.
I don't want to
Okay,
lead
okay,
you
okay.
guys
Right, yeah,
to
yeah,
think that I was that unique, that I was the only person in space defending the
If-
universe against boulders.
What was
Okay?
it like getting the call like, hey, you're going to go to space now and shoot some asteroids? You're like, you're doing Navy work, whatever it is, then you get that call where you're like, oh, this
Well,
is
Human Resources calls you up and they
Just like
say,
that.
"Listen, we got something for you."
In the Army, so there's or the Navy
Or the Navy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Military
military,
HQ.
NASA, who the hell, ASPCA. You
Yeah.
never know who's going to call. Okay, they could be the Postal Service. You know what I mean? We need a package taken to the Crab
so you did that.
Nebula.
You did that too.
Yeah, so they say, listen, we've got some Amazon things got to go to the Crab Nebula, and we need somebody to take it.
Wow.
And so you had to break through the Van Allen belt, which wasn't
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
The Van Halen belt?
The
Van
Van
Allen.
Allen belt.
That's
a joke,
that-
Brian.
thank
Don't
you.
make
I
jokes.
understand.
No, the Van
I
Halen
understand.
part
Like I've never heard that one. Anyways,
He always makes the most out. Come on.
yeah,
Come
the
on.
Eddie Van Allen belt.
Right.
Okay. All right, I get it. Anyways, we're moving on. But here's the point. You had so the deploying for over a number of years, and so you had to prepare. You had to pack light,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you had to pack a lot. And the toothpaste situation, you had to have a lot, a shipment,
Or just don't bother, I guess.
or just don't bother with personal hygiene because
Yeah.
you're not trying to pick up anybody out
Right.
there.
Right, there's
You know
nobody.
what I
What
mean?
about the food situation?
The
Yeah.
food situation was grim, even more grim than in this neighborhood here on Queens Boulevard. I tell you, I thought the food situation in space was grim. I got out here and I don't know what the hell's going on. I couldn't get a damn sandwich nowhere. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to impugn the area here or say nothing
lot-
negative,
okay.
but I will.
a few blocks away is a lot.
Yeah,
of,
somebody. I know you're saying
Fine
that, but that doesn't
cuisine.
help me now, Brian. Okay, you could have tipped me off that where the the Garden of Eden of eats might have been somewhere.
I'll
but
show you later.
In the general area here, I'm going without right now and running on fumes, as they say. So,
Right.
what was the question again?
I don't even know anymore.
Okay. Oh, the deployment. So it was a couple years, and yeah, you had to be ready for it.
Right.
And you had to stock up on food, and you had to bring Pop-Tarts, and you know what I mean.
Things that don't go
Also,
bad.
like
Rice
non-perishables?
Krispies, things like that never go bad. Fritos, you know what I mean. Very big in
Did you have a
space.
stove in the thing?
We did.
It's a stove in the spaceship?
There was I know it was a combination.
stove.
See, that's
Hot
how that's how. Yeah, exactly. You made pot pies. You made
like a hot plate?
Yeah,
I'm
hot,
just curious.
hot pockets was real popular up there in space. Hot pockets. we had Hot Pockets.
Back in the 80s. I didn't even know they were a thing in the 80s.
What about the
That's the
stress?
thing.
How do you deal with the stress of constant
Bombardment.
It was a lot calmer than doing this podcast. I'll tell you right now.
Really?
There was a lot more conflict.
It's questions at your from all sides.
Yeah. Well, you learn. It's called you can become acclimated to the various levels of stress, and you have to do things. You got to get into meditation or Krav Maga or
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Oh, Krav.
Or you watch Wilson Phillips videos.
Yeah.
That calms me down. That's what I used to do to calm myself.
Which
down.
one do you prefer, the skinny one or the other one?
You know what?
There's three.
That's a very good question. I get that question a lot about which member of Wilson Phillips. I get this question. Oddly enough, who knew that I would get an airline, an Air Force pilot or a NASA pilot or whatever the hell I said I was?
Yeah.
It would get that question. But in Wilson Phillips, I'm still a huge fan of the Carney Phillips. If not for any other reason.
Gotta go Carney.
Yeah.
She the big one?
Carney. Carney.
Yeah.
Well, she lost a lot of weight. She got
No, I think it was the other one. Maybe I'm getting them all confused.
Mackenzie?
Why do I have to settle and make a choice?
You don't.
Why can't I?
You can have all three.
Maybe some of you guys will settle for one of them, but I want all three. I want an assortment.
You're a real man.
That's why you're a pilot. And that's why
right.
we're just.
We had insatiable appetites when it comes to just about everything. Not just our gastrointestinal needs, but our sensual needs.
Danger.
Absolutely. That's what we're drawn to, son. We're drawn to that.
Yeah.
That's what gets you into the military, makes you successful, because you want to overcome your natural animal self.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Whose phone is that?
It's not mine.
It's probably mine. I'm going to turn this off because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Might have been the
there.
shrapnel.
Oh, really? It could have been. It could have been. That could have been that ringing in my ears, maybe something.
What happens if you guys aren't out there breaking up these asteroids?
Yeah, what would have happened?
Now
Good
that is the question.
Yeah.
That is the question.
Definitely.
That is because we're out there. You just take it for granted as you're going to one of your poetry readings or something here.
Right.
That someone is taking care or doing whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to see Hamilton or something.
Right.
And you're not thinking, oh, maybe a boulder will hit me.
Yeah.
Well, you know why that is? Because we got them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Me and my compadres at arms, we was out there on the front lines so that you guys can do this podcast right here without fearing that a giant boulder or meteorite is going to come in here and take out one of your craniums.
Wow.
Okay.
And thank you for your service, by the way.
I appreciate that. It's about time somebody recognized it. I'm a little
Thank you.
curmudgeonly in my old
I'm
age.
surprised that aren't parades for you, you know?
Believe me,
Yeah.
it would be nice to see
Asteroid Day.
one.
or
Well, make
something.
some calls, guys.
We should.
Make some calls.
This podcast has millions of listeners, so we can maybe reach those people.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I'll be looking forward to. I'm going to mark that on my calendar.
Asteroid
I'm going to
Day.
give you a timetable, and hopefully there'll be a parade coming for this appearance.
Were you just like, after a while, were you just like, you saw them, the asteroids coming? Were you just like, yeah, like, did you love it? Were you into it? Like,
Look, you learn to think like they do. Okay, now a lot of people they look at the see that's just a rock, but that's more than just a rock. You sort of become respectful of your opponent, no matter whether it's an inanimate object or a piece of igneous rock or whatever it is. You start to think the way they do, and since they didn't think, that was hard to do.
Seems very Buddhist or Krav Maga or something.
Since the rocks themselves didn't think, trying to think the way they do was kind of a contradictory undertaking.
Kind of easy though, also in a way.
In a way, you would think, but since they don't think, then you can't outsmart them because they don't have no smarts. See what I'm saying? So that there's an intersectional contradiction there that made fighting them even more difficult.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So
totally.
So they converging because of the metaphysics involved.
Okay.
Of gravity and multi-dimensional. What's it called? The law of attraction. I believe.
The law of attraction?
The law of attraction. Like attracts like.
Yeah,
that's where
gravity.
That's where I met my first wife.
Like
but anyway, so
first, how many do you have, Carl?
Well, you go out into space and it takes a toll on a relationship, Ryan.
That's true.
I don't have to tell you, or maybe I do. But you do a podcast like this, it puts a crimp.
Totally.
Exactly. The time dedicated, and you guys, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
It's difficult to maintain a relationship because a relationship requires you to elevate it to a level of importance. And when you take your job and place it in the context of saving the world, as we did back then, which was what we did.
Definitely.
Right.
Which is what we did.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know.
Oh, we
that.
did.
We took it very seriously when these rocks was coming at the Earth. We said, no, somebody's got to take these things down, and we're going to take the heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we did back then.
So, did any of your wives or partners ever want to come with you? Like, did you tell, hey, it's going to be a 3-year journey? Like, did they take them along for the ride? Or
Yeah, but we didn't have no Tinder or nothing back then.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So you was on your own in your relationships, and they would say, "Come, hey, can I come on the
Right.
thing?" And then you're like, "No, this ain't gonna work out. You don't want some one of your beloved young ladies that
Yeah.
you're betrothed to getting
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. When you got different ones in various galaxies all
Okay.
over.
Oh,
the place.
do you?
By the way, could it get any hotter in here? Or I feel like I'm on Mercury.
Got to
doing
leave the
show
AC
in
up
here.
for
Okay,
the podcast.
Okay, anyway, okay, we're doing the show on Mercury. I swear, that is awesome. Or ceiling fan, you got nothing in here?
Nothing.
Okay, good. Can somebody pour a bucket of cold water over my head in the middle of this? Where were we? Oh yeah, the relationship situation. Now,
Right.
they would sometimes be sad that I left, and but you know what I mean.
Sometimes they're not sad.
Sometimes they weren't sad because I could be curmudgeonly.
Right.
All right,
I could see that.
I can tell you,
I
there
couldn't.
was some. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not seeing through my genial facade that I put up. But the truth was, I was drinking a lot during some of those times, which took the edge off. I'm not going to apologize neither for any of you that are going to judge me for that. I just want you to know that we had a job to do, and it was stressful.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to judge me, you're welcome to it. Just bring the heat.
Okay, but
Okay, I can take it.
You're defending the country in a tiny space.
That's right, son.
The world.
The world with not a lot of
Let's see you
food.
put in space without taking a shot of J&B once in a while. Okay?
You're right.
Brian?
You're right.
It seems like you're about to imbibe right now, and I've been on the
Just water.
podcast 20 minutes.
Just
okay?
water.
Okay, so anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life.
Have you thought about seeing a therapist? It sounds like you have a little PTSD.
See, that's not the way we deal with things. Nowadays, you go, oh, I got to talk to somebody. Okay,
they don't do that.
There's no, what are you going to talk to Siri or something in space? There was no recourse. They're gonna. By the time, see, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand about the way it works in space. If I was to whine into a radio and say, my father never loved me or never hugged me, by the time that radio wave reached my therapist's office, it would be too late to respond because I'd be over it by then. So because you're dealing with time-space continuum there, and there's a lot of difficulty there in dealing with therapeutic interventions.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case, if that answers your question.
So
No,
you're
that
truly
does.
like alone out there.
You're alone out there, son.
Other
There's
than
nothing. You and the rocks. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You and the rocks, and you're surrounded. So you begin to respect them, and you begin to have a relationship with them, even though you're going to take them out.
Right.
You know that.
So you
You're
see them
saying-
as like a worthy opponent.
There's a word. That's absolutely right. It's like rock'em sock'em robots with rocks. Okay.
I don't know. whether
Rock'em,
that's true.
rock'em, robots.
Rock'ems.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the way it was.
So how do you feel about the movie Armageddon? Do you find it offensive?
I didn't see that one. What was in there?
Why would
That a
you
porno?
find it offensive?
I don't think it's a porno.
Armageddon. Oh, is that Bruce? One of them.
Yeah,
Bruce Willis
Bruce because
movies?
his
Is that the
name's
one-
Bruce Willis. And, like,
Is that
he
the
has
one
to
where he
blow-
thinks he's dead with the kid?
Nope.
No, that's Sixth Sense.
Okay. Okay. Is that
That's the one where he has to destroy an asteroid that's coming. to
I
Earth.
preferred Blind Date. I believe that was the one he was in with Kim Basinger plays a drunk or something. I think that if you're going to ask me about any Bruce Willis film, that's one of my favorites
Okay.
right there.
Do you have movies up there in space?
Oh yeah, we brought DVDs.
Okay.
Yeah. I brought all my. I'm a big Disney fan.
Really?
So,
Oh.
yeah. So
Okay.
you wouldn't think that. Beauty and
No.
the Beast always gets me every time.
Oh.
Every time. The new version, not nearly as good as the animated. I'm
Okay.
just gonna. I don't want to impugn their attempt
That's all right.
to cash in more. But the original cartoon itself, with Robbie Benson. Doing the VO.
Oh.
Yeah. No, a lot of people don't know that. Robbie Benson did a masterful job.
Only voice actors would probably know
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's
Brian,
it.
how did you not know that?
Yeah, I know. Only voice actors would know that. Don't ask me why I do. But anyway, here's the point. Anyway,
Right, Carl?
I'm just
You okay,
getting
sweet?
Every time I talk
Is this
about
like Black
Beauty-
Space Lung?
Every time I talk about Beauty and the Beast, I get emotional. It's a very.
Let it out. Let it out.
I'm sorry.
He's good.
It's a safe space.
You got? Can you get? Can I get a?
Let out
Got
Sweetwater.
no shot of vermouth or nothing
No,
here.
not anymore.
so we
I'm
don't have
sorry.
anything.
Whatever. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast and
Beauty and the Beast.
Finding Dory or whatever that one was.
Finding
with the
Nemo.
face. Finding Nemo.
Oh,
Losing-
Dory's the second one.
Right.
Losing Dory or
Yeah.
regaining Dory. I forget the name
Something
of
like
it.
that.
Yeah, we had those.
Raising Dory.
Absolutely. I also like the movie War Horse. I like animal stories. Okay.
That's good.
You haven't seen War Horse. Run, don't walk. right now to the DVD to the Blockbuster, even though it doesn't exist anymore.
Like
Run, don't walk to the screen and put on Netflix and rent yourself Warhorse.
Never saw Warhorse.
They'll be scraping you off the bottom of the living room.
Actually, wait, I have to ask you because you just mentioned Blockbuster. Since you're on duty for like 3 years at a time, do you ever come back and then feel like weird about culture shifts? You know?
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of changes that are taking place with this whole Netflix, this whole Netflix binge watching. We didn't have none of that. You had to sit through commercials for Budweiser and stuff. They don't do that no more. You can just watch whatever you want. I just binge watch that Breaking Bad show, whatever that was. That's really
Breaking
good.
Bad,
With the guys on crack or something. And he's a crack dealer, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. He's selling crack in the Midwest. That's my
Someone's
got
to do it.
It's meth in Arizona or New Mexico.
Whatever.
New Mexico.
Somewhere in
close to
somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah,
it's Wyoming or something. I don't even know. Right, whatever. But that's So we dealt with our entertainment needs in a different way because you couldn't have stuff delivered, intergalactically.
What about the Amazon Prime? What are those guys?
Well, Amazon Prime, the shipping costs were massive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're in a different galaxy,
Military didn't want to cover that.
They didn't pay me that much to afford that I can, you know what I mean, order a water heater or some hair care products on Amazon, just because I'm in the Horse's Head Nebula, and they go, hey, listen, can I get some mousse for my hair? And they're going, yeah, it'll cost you $8, but $1 million in shipping. Right there, you know what I mean, and
that's how they get you.
And then by the time you get the bottle, it's 8 decades in the future. Anyway.
Your hair's,
right? You don't even have hair at that point anyway. I don't want to say nothing about Brian, but
a long time ago.
It was a while ago.
Maybe that's why, because he traveled in space.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, Brian, have you ever done space traveling?
I wish. Well, you can't be tall to be an astronaut.
Oh, is that true?
You gotta be like 5'5" or under.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, because of the gravity.
That killed my. No, this is so cramped in the space shuttle. That killed my dream in like 3rd grade.
Well, you
like,
could.
When I was already like 6 feet tall.
There's
I'm like, hey, can I
an
do this?
operation for that, Brian. You could get if you really were that dedicated.
That's
you
true.
could,
I watched Gattaca. It's true.
Probably should have.
See that? Ethan Hawke, I believe, is in that movie. Yeah, that's right. He's good.
When your nickname, your code name, what do you call it? Is it
Sweetwater Johnson.
How'd you get that name? And tell us what was some of your colleagues, some of their nicknames.
Because
that's a cool name.
That's a creek. There's a creek in the hometown where I was born. There's nothing exciting about this story, but I just I would say Carl, and the girls call me Sweet.
Okay.
And so I would just say that's right, baby. And the way I became sweet is I used to meditate by this stream, and that's how it came about. I don't know. That's the best I could come up with on a fly.
That makes perfect sense.
It's called Sweetwater Johnson, and
I like it.
And that's how I got my name. I like to keep things simple and zen-like.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do a lot of. I mean, could you meditate when you're in the spaceship? Would that be dangerous?
You had to
It
go
was dangerous,
because
or?
there wasn't no danger. You'd put the thing on autopilot or whatever.
It would fly you away from the asteroids.
Exactly during a lull, as they say, because you did get some warning that the rocks were on the horizon from your external sensors, as they say.
Okay.
And so you would go inward. And you'd get into a zen-like place, and then all of a sudden, all hell break loose right there. Right when I was reaching nirvana, as they say, occasionally you'd hear the screech of the sensor saying, "Rocks incoming."
Wake up.
Okay,
Wake up.
that's right.
Yeah.
And while the rest of the people playing Donkey Kong, we're out there doing a battle with the rocks. Okay. So that if that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Yeah. What are some other your colleagues' nicknames? You got Sweetwater. Do you remember some other good ones back in the day?
Well, let me think here. Carl the Vampire Williams.
Another Carl?
Yeah, Carl. Another. Everybody was named Carl back then. Carl the Vampire Williams.
The vampire.
Because every time he'd bleed a lot for whatever reason. He was constantly bleeding everywhere.
Like a bloody nose?
Yeah, all the time getting bloody noses. Every time we turned around, he'd scratch his head or something on something, and there was just blood everywhere. No one knew how the hell he ever got into service.
He sounds like a hemophiliac.
He
That's
was
not
pretty
safe.
much. I think back then we didn't even have that diagnosis back then. Okay, but if today we had the modern medical techniques to be able to determine that, which is odd because that was probably a while ago. But anyway, he would be known as a hemophiliac, which I think we should all be inclusive of all people. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want to judge. I think a lot of people say, "Oh, the hemophilia, they shouldn't be in the services." Okay, and I'm like, no, let the hemophiliacs in. You know what I mean? That's you should be able to marry whoever you want. That's my point. If you're, whether you're a
hemophiliac,
yeah, if you're a hemophiliac, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? If you like that kind of thing, you're into it. It's not my taste, but whatever you're into, that's all my point is. All right.
So we got Carl the Vampire.
Carl the Vampire Williams.
What else was there?
And it was Tony Rigoletto. He was from Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
you ever been
right.
there?
What's his nickname? It's just
he didn't have one.
It was just Tony Rigoletto.
Tony Rigoletto was funny enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, you named your kid after an opera. You know what I mean? Isn't that an opera right there?
Maybe.
I don't even
sounds
know.
like
We're not as learned as you.
Obviously, I'm doing my best here, and you guys ain't keeping up. But anyway, I'm dropping Wilson Phillips references.
Yeah.
It's whizzing by your head
That's
like
the first one we've had on the podcast.
like an F-15. But anyway, Tony Rigoletto was from Staten Island.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked on the Staten Island Ferry for about 10 years.
Wait, so he made it from working on the Staten Island Ferry to
well,
becoming
you'd be surprised. You ever been on the Staten Island Ferry, son? The
I have.
dangers on there,
I have.
I'll tell you.
They look like aliens, some of those
I'm
people.
telling you right there, the stuff you had to fend off on the Staten. He had stories that'll make Chuck Yeager, you know what I mean, shiver. Okay, all right. I'm telling you right now, some of the stories from that Staten Island Ferry. You ever interacted with some of them people from Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island too?
Not on purpose.
I'm telling you right, exactly. Staten Island is not a less than hostile environment down there. You got to hone your defensive skills if you want to survive in that area. And that prepared him for the atmospheric pressures that he was going to deal with, working on the Staten Island Ferry and interacting with all kinds of people, some of them hiding their violent tendencies, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
And he got out there, and he was one of our better pilots that we've seen. And we were like, how'd you do this? He would say, go to Staten Island if you want to see some real combat. And you know what I mean?
That's a good accent. I had no idea.
I learned how to do that. Never mind. But anyway, just keep quiet, all right? Anyway, trying to stay in character here. So here, so where was I? Oh yeah, so the Staten Island Ferry. It was a lot cheaper back then. He worked on Staten Island. It was like what's it now? $250 or something? I don't even know.
Actually, it's free.
It's free.
All right, well there you go. It was a lot cheaper back then. Lot cheaper.
Way cheaper now.
My point exactly. See what I'm saying? It was a lot cheaper back then.
We got
they paid you to take it. That's how cheap it was. back then.
Come
And
on,
so now,
$5. Get on this.
anyway,
Now you're breaking even.
They'd try to recruit people to take it because nobody wanted to go on it, so they'd hand out cash dividends to anyone who wanted to take it. Nowadays, it's free, which if you do the math, it comes out different.
Yeah. Okay. We got to wrap this up in a minute, but
Completely accurate.
you want to play a quick game with us, Carl?
Well, yeah. I hope. What we doing?
Well, we're gonna play
video
quick
games.
Yeah, it's about video games. It's our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill. It's Wed, Bed, Dead. We call it. Right?
Okay.
You get Wed,
This
Bed,
means-
Dead.
Okay.
And we give you 3 video game characters. We have a random number generator here. Beep, bop, boop, bop, boop.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta.
Well, explain it to
being old school, I may not even know these people.
You're gonna know one of them, I
All right,
think.
all right,
Yeah.
that's
So we're gonna think up. So Calvin's got to explain this first one.
Yeah.
This one is.
And I'll give you pictures.
Yeah. This one is QB from Darkstalkers.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, I think she's like a giant bee villain,
She's like a bee lady.
a bee lady.
Really?
I'm not sure if you're into bees
What
or
game?
bees, Carl.
What game is this?
It's called. Is it Dark or Deathstalker?
Darkstalker.
Is that
You
a
guys
fighting game?
You got to get your story straight before you book people on the show.
This is
Can I
Calvin.
just say that?
And the next one, yeah, he'll bring up QB for you. Q-B
Yeah.
is Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh,
So
Mike.
this is QB.
Okay.
She's got a big old rumper
Yeah.
with a big old bee butt.
And what's
Yes.
the question here?
We're gonna say who do you want to F, marry, or kill?
Okay,
Yes.
so we have to go through the
Wed,
whole.
better,
Yeah,
dead.
we have three.
Yeah,
we have
so
three
we got
names here.
B-Bomb, what's her name?
QB.
QB.
So she's all right. Oh,
Yeah.
she's like J-Lo.
Kind of.
All right,
Yes.
she's like the J-Lo.
Kinda
of
like
the-
J-Lo, but a
the
bee.
J-Lo
Yes.
of the video
Exactly.
game world.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. She's got she's big butted or whatever.
Yeah, she is
Yeah.
big
Blessed.
butted.
What do they call it? Big stingered? I
Big
guess
Stingered.
maybe
J-Lo.
in the bee
And what's the
community.
name of that character over there? B-Bomb, whatever.
QB.
Little in the
QB.
middle, but got a stinger in the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
So I got
And we got Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's
a lot of
Punch
BB
Out.
going on here.
Everybody-
A bald bull.
Everybody knows Bald Bull from
Okay.
Mike Tyson's Punch
Bald
Out.
Bull.
Big, scary looking
Wasn't
boxer
he
guy.
on Night Court?
Yes.
I
Little-
believe
this guy's a little bigger.
Based on, yeah. All right.
That's Bald Bull.
Okay, and this is from This is
Mike
from,
Tyson's Punch-Out.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
So he's a boxer.
I know who. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he go to jail for a brief stint there?
He did.
Mike Tyson did.
Yeah,
Oh, Bald Bull did as well.
Bald Bull probably did also.
Well,
I don't think
he
so.
might have.
Well, maybe.
I think when they prosecute someone, they also prosecute the game characters that are based on any game after them.
So a lot of those guys.
Bald Bill might have had to do a stint.
Maybe
in
just for being affiliated.
In right way. You know, it's called guilt by association.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But I don't support it. But it exists and it's something that needs to be addressed.
And the last one,
Yeah.
very famous Mortal Kombat fighter,
Okay.
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
You know Johnny Cage, the movie star
He's-
turned kickboxer.
Oh, he's in the.
type guy.
Is he in those Fast and Furious films?
Kinda,
Yeah.
but not really.
The
Sort of.
Return of Johnny Cage. You know, I've seen there's like 28 of those movies.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
seen one of them.
No.
They had came out with this thing that said the Return of Xander Cage. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
was
that's
one of
Triple
them.
X.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I said the Returns. I didn't even know he had left.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how out of touch I am.
Well, you're up
with
there in
stuff.
space fighting.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm doing real combat.
Are you still up there?
I'm right there right now. I'm floating. I'm floating right now. I did some medication earlier. How the hell do you think I'm getting through this
Yeah,
podcast?
seriously.
Okay, so this looks like some kind of grinder video or something. I don't think this is a character from a video game. I believe this is someone's avatar on Grinder. I believe
he's a
And,
fighter. He's like a
you're not
karate
gonna
kickboxer, I
this ain't
guess.
gonna,
Yeah, kickboxer.
I ain't gonna be going with F on this one.
Okay,
I
so
believe.
let's go Sweetwater first. Who would you wed, bed, dead in this situation?
Okay, so you're gonna kill. First of all, I'd have to take out this guy because of
Okay.
his smugness. Okay, he's going down. All right,
Right away.
Just
I
the-
mean, that's true.
Just the arrogance. You know, you didn't have no abs. We didn't have no abicizers back then.
No.
And this guy flaunting what he's got under
Yeah.
there. Yeah, put him in the ring with one of my compadres.
Okay.
Vampire Williams, take this guy down.
him
He'd
out.
bleed all over. He'd drown in Vampire's blood. This guy. Okay.
Okay.
So let's
Poor
take him
Vampire.
down. Let's
Okay,
D.
he's dead.
What is
All
it?
right,
D?
dead.
He's dead.
Dead.
You're
Okay.
gonna-
What were the other options?
wed in bed.
Okay.
Who you gonna marry and who you gonna?
I got okay. So as I said earlier, I got nothing against hemophiliacs marrying.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
okay, but I do not want to marry the guy from the Mike Tyson video just because of his police record alone.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't want to indict or impugn anyone's character.
All right.
But believe me, with two, what's it called? We're kind of alpha male characters. That could
Right.
cause problems in the relationship. I
Yeah.
read about this on the Enneagram. Or right, where two characters of the same type. You don't want to
Right,
get them
right.
to get together.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not saying that Red Bull or whatever his name is shouldn't be marrying somebody. Okay, if you want to do that, whatever it is, to your heart's delight, I'm not going to stand in your way. I don't believe in that. I'm a libertarian, socialistic Republican.
All
So, so you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I don't draw lines in the sand about nothing. You can do whatever you want. You're libertarian, can marry a dwarf. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right. So whatever. And so I'm going to go with what's the other options we got.
Wed in bed.
Oh, okay, we're not. Oh, I have to marry one.
Yeah,
marry
Yeah,
one?
you gotta marry one.
Thanks
So
a lot, guys. Okay,
You're either marrying a
I
bee
realize-
woman or
well,
marrying a
so-
boxer.
So, oh, good lord,
Or-
this is a tough one.
That's why it's a really interesting
So
game.
I have to bed either
You
this
have to
guy
sleep
or
with-
the other guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, either this guy
Well, he
or
already
the
ki-
bee woman.
You already killed Johnny, so
Yeah,
you
so
gotta.
he's
killed Johnny,
dead.
so-
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're probably since he's probably in jail anyway, since you know what I mean, and because of the Mike Tyson connection there, I'm going to go with the bed portion of that because then I'd have to go in there, and if I was going to do time in jail, that would happen anyway.
Okay.
In the shower.
Get it over with.
So let's just get that over with.
Interesting.
And then because then I want to spend the rest of my life with J-Lo.
Yeah.
Over there. That way, you know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
At least it's one night with the other guy. You know what I mean? And then you can spend life in bliss with the BBQ character or whatever it is. Okay. BBQ. Okay. Or QB or
QB.
whatever the hell it is. Right
Yeah.
there. So there you go. I'm glad that this show shows a sensitivity to inclusivity.
Oh, totally.
And
Oh, yes.
intersectionality.
It's all random.
Exactly.
That's
So
a really good reasons why you do those. I think. So, Al, why don't you go next?
That's right.
All right. So this is a tough one. I'm a fan of Johnny Cage. I'm a fan of Bald Bull. I don't know Queen Bee that well. So
Well, now you do.
is she? No, she's not Queen Bee. She's QB, right?
QB, but she is a queen.
She's a
kinda-
queen.
She's cool.
Queen of what? Is she queen of people or bees or what?
Just bees.
Just bees. I don't like bees.
And
very
what do they
much.
do? What's this game all about? Does anybody have any?
It's a fighting game.
Short version, it's a fighting game, and what she does is she actually eats people. So,
Oh, boy.
sorry, that's also a factor.
Oh,
Should have
boy.
thrown that in.
Oh boy.
It's important
You
to
guys
know.
know a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still working on the rules to Twister. Okay, you know what I mean? You guys are, I don't know, you're leagues ahead of me.
Was Twister hard to play in space? I would imagine.
I would
yeah,
imagine
sure,
because
yeah.
the gravitational pull makes it problematic,
Yeah, it
as they say. Also, we had Connect 4, which was also difficult to do do in space.
Oh yeah, just
floating away.
Absolutely. You try to get a diagonal 4 on
I think like
in
tic-tac-toe
zero gravity.
You can't roll dice in space.
You can't.
Oh, yeah,
you can't. You
stinky
can't
spin.
open a casino up there. That's one of the main reasons.
Try?
Believe me, I've tried. All right, what
Space
were
Right.
casino.
Sorry,
Oh,
what
yeah.
was I saying? Okay.
Yeah, so
So
your
with that being
choices.
So I'm
said-
scared of bees, right? I'm a little bit scared of bees.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So,
Who isn't, son?
but she's the only.
You got to fight your fear, son. This is one of the most important things you learn
That's
when you
true.
get into the military.
That's
Is
true.
that you have to face what it is. The part of you that is fearing going to the next level.
It's
and
American
you
Hero
over
right
that.
there.
That's
telling
right.
you that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, this is
Well,
what I'm
again,
gonna
Toby Keith right here.
do. I'm gonna kill Bald Bull
Okay.
Wow.
because he's kind of scary looking, kind of mean. I don't know.
Oh, 'cause
I'm
he
not
black?
a fan.
Is he black?
Yeah,
I don't think he's
I
black.
don't think he's black. He looks like he's Turkish or something.
I don't know.
He's not black.
Is he down
as
for
if
that?
there's no black people in Turkey. By the way, don't assume.
He looks like
Also,
an
you
ethnic-
said Balbo is based off Mike Tyson.
No, Mike Tyson is based off Mike Tyson.
You don't know Bald Bull?
No, I know, but isn't he? He looks blackish. Whatever.
Blackish. I don't think he is.
I'm not killing him because of his race. I'm killing him because he looks mean.
That's fair.
And
I respect that.
Okay, so I'm gonna kill Bald Bull. I can't be with bees my whole life, so I'm gonna bed QB once, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of there.
I hope she stings you because of your how homophobic you are.
She might.
Because you're still doing it just for one night, just because you can't stand doing a guy, but
Yeah.
you're risking getting.
But
If
stung.
I have to
still-
choose between having sex with her and Bald Bull, I'm gonna
A bee
choose
that
her.
might eat
He's
you,
from
by the way.
Istanbul.
Oh, he's okay.
Istanbul. See,
I just
there
looked
you
it
go.
up. So
There you
there
go. We got
go.
Google right there
Which
at
is
your
in-
fingertips.
So why? It's
Turkey.
because he Middle Eastern?
No. He doesn't offer. He's not a good match for marriage, and he's not a good match for betting.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Boy,
and
there's a lot. You guys put a lot
We
of
do.
introspection
We do.
into this.
We do.
I'm gonna
It's about
marry.
winning.
I'm gonna marry Johnny Cage,
Okay.
and you guys already know why. He's a
Rich
movie star.
celebrity.
He's rich.
Yeah.
I get to go to Outworld, cheer him on. You know what I mean?
And who says that they have to consummate?
We don't have to.
You know what I mean? They can just marry,
Could be a
and
love
Right.
it's a
marriage.
sham wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
that
I get
that
to go
happens
to-
in Hollywood all the time. I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah.
Because I committed to
Killing him right away.
Yeah, right away.
I get to go to movie premieres.
I had no, you know what I mean?
His abs really bugged you.
That's thinking outside the box right there.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what we see. That's why this game's really,
Absolutely.
really important.
We go to the red carpet. They're like, "Oh, who's that little Indian dude with Johnny Cage?" You know, everyone's like,
it's like his little fuck,
wondering who's
his little
this guy?
fuck boy.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? No, I'm his husband. I'm
I
not his
know.
fuck.
Well,
boy, right?
that's what the tabloids are going to say.
Yeah, that's what the TMZ's gonna
listen,
say.
At least people are saying my name.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's getting
And
out
it'll
there.
help get over hemophilia.
Indian fuckboy Al.
Hemophilia,
Right.
Hemophilia phobia.
So those-
it'll help you get over that.
Hemophobia.
Those are my
Yes.
choices.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Um,
Brian, what about you?
Want me to go? So yeah, I mean, it is a tough choice, but I think also, I mean, it seems like marrying Johnny Cage would be a fun way to go. However,
Oh.
I think marrying QB is what I want to do because I'm not a fan of bees either. But I think if I had her around all the time, she'll be like, no, guys, he's with me. He's cool. Leave him alone.
Yeah, but there'd be bees everywhere you go.
But they wouldn't attack me.
Wait a minute. Do you have an issue with the fact that she's an insect character?
A
Because that's
little.
entomologist.
It is.
Okay, that's entomology. If you
Don't
want
be
somebody out there,
yeah.
I believe that's entomologist.
Entomologist.
Entomologism. Okay, don't.
Wait, that's a whole
excuse me,
That's a whole
no,
different
no.
matter.
I'm saying, if you look up the word, I believe entomology is the study of insects.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
done a little research into this.
Right.
And etymology is study of words.
Right.
Okay, so etymology and etymology. So you're basically saying that you're discriminatory against this person simply because they may be at a lower species level than you.
No. Well, for bees are super important.
They
to the world.
really are.
I
You get rid of
understand.
the bees,
Right.
You got no raspberries.
You got nothing anymore. Apparently.
Okay. Try getting a cantaloupe on a street corner when there's no bees.
Nope.
You call me when that happens.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's the thing. I'm going to marry her because I want her around. I want she can. Again, if there are bees all around, no one's going to mess with me because I'm covered in bees. But they're
Oh
not
my
attacking
God.
me.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
And then she
You can't watch a movie.
Wow.
You go to a movie theater, it's filled with bees.
Well, we'll be the only one there.
You go to a restaurant.
That'd be great.
Wow, look at that.
That would be great. The only
You
person
guys
in the
have put
theater.
a lot of thought into this.
So
It's
have
my
to.
first time out of the
You
box
have
on this
to,
game. I feel
Sweetwater.
like I flunked out.
No, you did
guys,
great.
No, you did great.
All right,
and
thanks.
besides that big old stinger she has, it's a nice keister of a bee butt.
Here,
I guess so.
Are you a butt man?
Hypothetical.
And why not?
You're in bed. You're spooning. That stinger is right
Yeah.
up in your area.
We'll figure it out. Well, I'll realize how I have to lay.
And if you love somebody, you can get operation to have that removed.
A stinger?
I
Well,
believe
she'll
that.
die
You
instantly.
can get you can get that.
Bees die.
No, I'm telling you right now, that's a myth.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
They saying that for convenience, but they've got the technology nowadays.
Well,
I'm sure. You mean we can put a man on the moon and a guy like me into space to kill rocks, but we can't have
de-sting a bee?
We can't
You could
de-sting a
sand
bee?
it. You
Are
could sand
telling
it down.
Well, I would ask her
smooth
first.
enough.
Maybe each night rub a little bit so it gets nice and blunt, so she doesn't really stab me. But anyway, I'll ask her. She's my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm
Do some
I'm
research.
marrying QB, but this is where it gets tricky now because do I bed Johnny Cage or do I bed Bald Bull?
I mean, obviously, that's a clear answer.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
I think so.
Okay.
This is a difficult. This is a Hobson's choice, is what they call it. I forget. Butch Hobson used to play for the Red Sox, I think, and I believe that's where the name got started. Okay,
Yeah.
because he had to dive to the left or the right, and he didn't know which way to go, so he just fell down.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Do the research. Anybody
I
out
will.
there is a Red Sox fan. This is I'm really
Dropping tons of knowledge today.
seriously.
dropping tons of knowledge. So
Sweet
where are you
water.
going to go with this?
Yeah, I mean,
Ryan?
I don't want to be the obvious choice, and I mean, I think Olive would love to bang Johnny Cage, is what he's saying, but
I'm married to him, so don't worry
you're
about
married
that.
to him, so I don't want you.
Platonically.
I don't want to get you jealous, but
You don't know.
Oh, so you're going to be the Indian fuckboy.
I mean,
knows?
here's the thing. I mean, Bald Bull's probably pretty gross. I think he's like 300 plus pounds.
I mean, some people like
He's
that.
he's old.
That's weightist, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it is.
Isn't that
I'm
weightist?
gonna have to dead Bald Bull and wed
That's fat shaming.
and wed
Yeah.
That's
Johnny
fat
Cage.
shaming is what that is.
I'm gonna wed Johnny Cage.
By the way, I got a question. I don't want to milk the show, but
No.
you know, you all this stuff about weight. What is it? Fat shaming.
shaming.
Okay, so you know, well, I don't understand one thing. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. Somebody help me out on this one.
We'll try.
You know, you say now you asked a woman said to me one time. She goes, "How tall are you?" She sent me a email or something. She said, "How tall are you?" Okay, because she was considering dating me and getting involved in sensual congress, as they say, and she wanted to know how tall I was. Now that's very common, right? Women say that all the time. Now, and people think it's okay. But what if I were to say, "Oh, okay, how tall are you? How much do you weigh?" Is that all right? Is that okay to do that? How come
I don't think
there's
so.
a double standard
No
here?
need to ask. You can just look.
I know, but if you don't have the visual information and you're just going by, if somebody asks, you say, "Oh, women prefer tall men." Well, and people go, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that." Okay, but what? Okay, well, what if a guy says, "Well, how much you weigh?" Then it's all, "Oh, that's fat shaming, that's discrimination." But what about heightism?
I agree with
that's
you.
that's
I
all
mean,
I'm
I think
saying.
it's a different
Heightism is a
podcast,
thing.
but we'll deal with that.
I feel
We'll
like
tackle
Carl's
that.
he's been burned a couple times by this question.
all right. Well, we're staying out of this.
That's
one.
all right.
And,
So
back to
yeah, Calvin, who are your choices here?
This is going to be
Okay.
good. I'm getting ready for this one. Calvin's coming in, and he's already got 3 people made his choices. We're going to hear his take
I've
on
heard some
this.
very good arguments, I got to say.
Calvin
but,
is gay,
I am
listeners.
definitely. Thank you. And it will not inform. Well, it probably will.
It will. It will.
I'd have to kill Bald Bull. I do agree. He looks angry. Those
Yeah,
eyebrows
always.
too angry. I don't know if I could do
Is
that.
it because he's Turkish?
It's because those eyebrows are angry as
all right.
fuck.
Yeah.
Wow, all
They
right.
are.
Could you imagine waking up to just
No, I would never.
No.
Yeah.
So he's
well,
killed.
of course not. You
So
literally
wait a
would
minute.
never.
So Bald Bill has gotten his first. He's been whacked for the first time here. Is
Did I whacked him as well.
you
yeah,
so
well, we
he's
all
got
killed him,
2
right?
kills, confirmed kills.
What did you do?
Bad Bill.
You just
killed him too, right?
No, he just
No.
banged
Oh,
him
no, you killed
once.
Johnny Cage.
Wait, did you
No,
finish?
sorry.
Why did you didn't say why you're gonna? Yeah, you didn't finish.
Well, yeah, because he's gross, and Johnny Cage obviously is a celebrity. I'm cool to have to.
Right.
I'm all about that life.
Yeah.
Word.
That's the right choice.
I would, yes, I would kill Bald Bull. I would marry Johnny Cage because I mean,
Yep.
Rich is very, very important.
Yep.
It is, you know.
And famous.
You want
Rich and famous.
security.
Yeah, exactly. You want
You
security.
need some security in these economic times of trial. It's nice to have a nest egg.
Exactly. I mean, I know this podcast makes us so much money, but you know what I mean. Like, what happens if this
I'm
goes
still
belly
waiting
up?
for my check. I'm looking forward to.
We
getting
send it to your
something out of
space
it.
address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If they get hit an asteroid.
So then,
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna marry Johnny Cage. That security, the richness, and yeah, you know, I'm gonna bed QB
Once again.
I think. Well,
he's
because
betting the female.
fake gay
Worst
guy.
gay guy ever.
she's dangerous. I can't marry. I don't like bees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm
That's
gonna
legit.
get on their
Have you
side.
ever seen My Girl?
They're gonna
That's
get on my
dangerous
side.
shit.
That doesn't happen in my life
supposedly they're
anymore.
on your
Doesn't
side,
happen in
but-
my life anymore.
So he's bedding the bee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
so
once, just to get
one.
over,
Just
get over it.
better. And
I was
get out
so
of there.
curious.
Take
you know?
one for the team, son.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's what they call it in space.
Yeah.
What do you? What?
I guess slam it into an asteroid.
Hey, exactly. you gotta do it for your side, your
Yeah.
squadron. Okay.
So-
You think there's not stuff that everyone regrets in life that they did, but they do it, and you grow from that.
That's true.
This is. I feel like we learned so much. From
So
you,
much. I mean,
Sweetwater.
it's a crazy amount. He dropped so much knowledge.
That's
but
right.
We got to go.
You want to
Sweetwater,
plug something?
Do you have anything you want to plug as far as
A good friend of mine. A good friend of mine is appearing at the comic strip
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
Oh.
A good friend of mine on at the but this podcast
tonight.
won't be
Yeah,
out
it won't
for
be out
weeks.
tonight.
This podcast probably won't be out for 7 months.
No,
Okay,
few
so
weeks.
so
We're
if
actually in
you
the
have
future,
a time,
so if
when
you-
you hear this, get in a time machine and go backward to tonight.
Yes.
and then go see my show.
So your friend's a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot.
What's
of
his name?
comedians.
They can look him up.
Brian Scott McFadden. He's exceedingly talented comedian, incredibly funny, and he plays all over the city. The Comedy Cellar,
Yeah.
and the comic
They can look him
and,
up.
Stand Up New York,
Yep.
and New York Comic Club, all over, and Dangerfields, and there's a lot of clubs in the city that he performs at, and he's real funny, and you should all check him out. Or
I've heard of him. I heard
there's
he's
going to
pretty
be
good.
hell to pay if you don't. Because
Yeah.
just remember, just do it for me, because I was out there in space on the front lines
For
for you.
America.
You're here first.
Yeah.
Do it
Do
for
you
the
listen?
troops.
Do you listen to his comedy up in space?
I constantly, that's all I do all day long. It's, we got tapes of stuff up there. I like that Chris Rock and Gallagher. I like them too.
Two very opposite.
I like Chris Rock and I like Gallagher.
Gallagher's good to
They're
listen
huge.
to?
But you'd be surprised.
Okay.
You break some of that visual stuff down and you break it into audio
Right.
bites.
You
you'd
can
be
hear-
surprised.
you can hear
There's
the-
a depth there that
Right.
a lot of people will see as superficial when you see the visuals, but you break it down and there's an underpinning of knowledge there.
Amazing. Once again, Sweetwater, thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank you,
joining us
thank you.
today.
Hey, it's been fun. Is there a sandwich shop around here?
There
Oh,
is.
yeah, we'll
Said-
find one for you.
Okay.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Playable Characters Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.